In today's video, we'll be taking a look inside an abandoned mine and learning why this water is special. Ancient Wheel. A strange item was discovered down a coal mine in the Ukrainian city of Donetsk in 2008. Due to the nature of the sandstone in which it was embedded, the intriguing device, like an antique wheel, stays in its original place down the mine. Workers were shocked to find what looks to be the impression of a wheel above them in the sandstone roof of the tunnel that they had just excavated while drilling the coal coking stratum called J3 Sokolsky at a depth of 900 meters from the surface. Although the strata in which the fossilized wheel print was discovered cannot be dated with certainty, it's been noted that the Rostov region, which surrounds Donetsk, is built upon carboniferous rock that dates back from 360 to 300 million years ago. This would imply that an actual wheel became stuck millions of years ago and dissolved over time as a result of diagenesis, a process in which sediments are lithified into sedimentary rocks, as is usual with fossilized remnants. Klerksdorp Spheres. Miners working in pyrophyllite mines in the small town of Ottosdal in South Africa's northern northwest province have discovered enigmatic metal spheres. They came to be known as the Klerksdorp Spheres. These dark reddish-brown, slightly flattened spheres range in size from less than a centimeter to 10 centimeters wide, with 3 parallel grooves running around the equator on some of them. The most remarkable examples look to be made in an eerie way. But here's the kicker. These metallic spheres have been dated back to 3 billion years ago. That's back when the Earth was too young to support intelligent species capable of producing them. So really, it's no surprise that these objects have piqued the interest and speculation of not only the scientific community, but also numerous fringe organizations such as creationists and supporters of the ancient astronauts theory. But there's nothing strange about Klerksdorp spheres. They're neither mysterious nor enigmatic. These spheres are actually concretions created 3 billion years ago by the precipitation of volcanic deposits, ash, or both. Concretions are frequently ovoid or spherical in appearance, which leads to them being mistaken for dinosaur eggs, extraterrestrial material, or human artifacts in this case. Crocodile Fossil. In a Colombian mine, the fossilized remnants of a 6-meter-long extinct crocodile relative were uncovered. The gigantic croc would have lived alongside the world's largest known snake and may have even battled for food with it. The Cerrejón mine in northern Colombia, one of the biggest open-pit coal mines in the world, is where the bones were found. The specimens were described in the journal Paleontology by a team from the US. Acaranthussuchus quadrarensis is a freshwater organism that lived in an ancient rainforest ecosystem 60 million years ago, during the Paleocene period. Reptiles such as gigantic snakes, turtles, and crocodiles dominated the habitat. This is the second member of the crocodile family discovered in the Cerrejón mine. Scientists think that examining the variety of creatures in this environment could help researchers better understand the effects of a warmer climate in the future because temperatures at this time were much higher than they are today. The croc existed with Tanaboa, an enormous snake that grew to be about 13 meters long. The croc was almost the same size as the largest existing crocodiles and alligators. Federal Retirement Files. The federal government, like any other institution, processes papers, except that none of this is on their PC. Everything's in a mine. Iron Mountain in Boyers, Pennsylvania is a 630-foot deep limestone mine. Around 600 employees work at the Office of Personnel Management site, which houses every paper record of every retiring federal employee. Every day, truckloads of paperwork are delivered to the mine. Every month, around 7,000 federal employees retire. The government employs approximately 3 million people. Therefore, the figure is not that alarming. And despite having 600 staff, this facility has a tremendous backlog. It's simply too much work to process hundreds of retirements. Because they have so much paperwork to store, the entire facility is housed in a mine. Yes, conducting this business digitally would be more effective, but nobody's done it to date. In fact, they print and store all of their computer-based work as well. Congress has been pointing out how wasteful this method is since 1981. However, addressing inefficiency appears to be inefficient as anything else. Stash of cars. A Belgian instructor was wandering through a mine at a French quarry in 2016, as one does. He came across tunnels and tunnels of ancient European cars dating back to the 1930s. The cars were showing their age, but they had all evidently been parked there on purpose nearly 100 years ago. The cars, which are believed to be from World War II, were taken by the Germans as they required or desired them. As a result, it's probable that the mine was utilized as a secret cache, a place to store the cars until the war ended. Unfortunately, it appears that whoever placed them there never returned to reclaim them after the war. The ultimate result is a mine full of rusted-out husks with little monetary value, but great historical importance. 2-billion-year-old water. Water in a cave isn't particularly rare. Caves are frequently moist environments, and underground lakes and rivers have thrived for millennia. But not all water is the same. It's also not formed at the same time. The water discovered in one Canadian mine predates multicellular life on Earth. The water was discovered deep within an Ontario mine in Timmins. The age was calculated by analyzing evidence of elements identified in the water, such as helium and xenon. It was a gold mine for scientists because it was the oldest water ever discovered and gave some light on what early Earth would have been like. Technically, the water isn't toxic. It contains trace elements, however drinking it isn't a good idea. It also has 8 times the salt content of seawater. Salt Cathedral. Speaking of salt, the tunnel leading to Colombia's most famous church feels more like an underground passageway. It's gloomy and damp with a subtle sulfur odor in the air. After a few hundred yards, however, the shaft gradually opens to expose Roman Catholic symbols such as the Stations of the Cross and the Archangel Gabriel. Also, they're all made of salt. The Salt Cathedral of Colombia is located 600 feet below in a former salt mine near Zipaquira, just outside of Bogota. Thousands of people attend services commemorating Christ's crucifixion and resurrection at Easter. Miners initially prayed in a modest sanctuary erected inside the tunnels. They would pray to the Virgin of the Rosary of Guasa, the patron saint of miners, to keep them safe from toxic gases, explosions, and other mishaps. The first refuge was constructed in the 1930s. After harvesting salt, the miners left a complex network of grottos, pits, and pathways in their wake. According to George Casablanco, a retired mining engineer, most exhausted mines are simply abandoned and walled up. However, in 1953, the Colombian government was convinced by Zipaquira's miners and church authorities, prominent individuals in this highly Catholic country, to transform the empty areas into a church. Now it's time for the day's best pick. We'll be taking a look at what's inside this once-abandoned mine. Perfectly preserved mine. The Derbyshire Caving Club discovered a cobalt mine in Cheshire, England that functioned in the early 19th century. According to a statement from the National Trust, which owns the site has a time capsule of relics from the day employees abandoned it, offering light on what mining was like some 200 years ago. Since the Bronze Age, the small community of Alderley Edge has been a mining destination. While the Caving Club, which has leased the mine since the 1970s, had previously uncovered other mines, the recently discovered mine is in pristine condition, according to Caving Club member Ed Copeland. Shoes, clay pipes, and a windlass, a form of winch used to pull heavy goods, were discovered in the mine. The fingerprints of the miners are still retained on clay handle holders, as is the imprint of one miner's corduroy pants as he reclined against a wall. One miner even used candle soot to leave his initials writing WS 20th of August 1810. A bowl with a rock wall erected around it is another puzzling find. The National Trust speculates that miners may have placed the bowl in this location as a superstitious gesture of gratitude. However, some experts have their doubts about this explanation. One hypothesis is that the bowl was part of a harmless joke or prank. However, we have to admit that the tale will never be truly known. Amusement Park. Salina Turda may not sound appealing to English-speaking thrill-seekers, but it's definitely worth a visit if you're looking for something different. The Salina Turda mine, which was located in Romania, was an extremely old salt mine. It was mentioned in writings for the first time in 1075. It produced salt for hundreds of years until 1932. During World War II, the mine was used as a bomb bunker before being closed down once more. The mine reopened to the public in the 1990s, following substantial and costly refurbishment. It's not simply a salt therapy spa, but also a subterranean amusement park. Mini golf, bowling, a Ferris wheel, an underground lake, and billiards are among the activities available at the venue. It's 120 meters down, and people can opt to take the elevator or the stairs to get there. Tanaboa. The Sarajevo coal mine in Colombia is unknown to most people. The mine produces about 30 million tons of coal each year and has become an important research site for scientists. In truth, the coal mine is one of the world's top fossil sites, offering a glimpse into a tropical rainforest 60 million years ago. Scientists nearly missed the Sarajevo fossils until an undergraduate discovered a remarkable account of sandstone impressions of fossil leaves. His discovery prompted an expedition that discovered several new species, including the largest snake ever discovered. Tanaboa, an ancient snake from the time after the dinosaurs died, challenges our understanding of what a snake can be. This gigantic snake was 48 feet long, longer than a school bus, and at the top of the monster-eat-monster food chain. In the swamp, it hunted crocodiles and big turtles. Tanaboa is classified as a boin snake, which is a species of non-venomous constrictor that includes anacondas and boas. Experts estimate Tanaboa fossil vertebrae placement by comparing the structure of the fossils to the vertebrae of modern boin snakes. Snake vertebrae became large near the snake's middle, but they also differ in structure from the vertebrae closer to the snake's head or tail. They estimate that the fossil vertebrae originated in Tanaboa's center using a computer model that they created. That suggests that if the model's placement of the bones is inaccurate, the snake could have been significantly larger. See you all next time!